Good morning, students. Hope you are doing good. Stay home and stay safe. It is good to be back to you after a long time. Today, let's move to Unit 2 Prose, A Nice Cup of Tea by George Orwell. First, let me give an introduction about the author. George Orwell was an English novelist, essayist, and critic. He was the son of a British civil servant and he spent his first few years in India where his father was stationed. He was a man of strong opinions and he addressed some major political movements of his time like imperialism, fascism, and communism. Orwell wrote literary criticism, poetry, fiction, and many other journalism, and his novels are Animal Farm 1984. So the Times ranked him second on a list of the 50 greatest British writers since 1945. So he is one of the greatest writers, and his prose, A Nice Cup of Tea, is given in your Unit 2. Let's move to the lesson now. As the title of the prose suggests, this lesson is about a nice cup of tea. Have you ever wondered where these tea come from? You have seen so many tea bags neatly arranged in the shelves of supermarkets. Have you ever wondered where these tea come from? Yes, so this lesson gives you an idea about how a good cup of tea is made. The first thing that we have to take into consideration is that tea is one of the mainstays of civilization in many countries like Britain, Ireland, Australia, New Zealand, and even in India. But it is no wonder that we never find the recipe of a good cup of tea in any cookery book. So here is the author who gives his own 11 golden rules in preparing a nice and feel good cup of tea. I shall discuss about the first 5 rules of making tea today in this video. So let's move to the points on how to make a good cup of tea. So the first rule is that one should use Indian or Ceylonese tea. Ceylon, I hope it is the ancient name for Sri Lanka. Though China tea has few virtues, it is not that stimulating and it does not make a person feel wiser or more optimistic after drinking it. So the author suggests that we should always use Indian tea or Ceylonese tea to prepare a very good cup of tea. The second rule is that tea should be made in small quantities, like in a teapot, and this teapot should preferably be made of china or earthenware. The author also suggests to avoid enameled teapots and the army tea that is made in a cauldron. So what is a cauldron? A cauldron is a very big pot for boiling something. So the second point is that tea should be made in very small quantities in a very small teapot. The third rule is that the pot should be heated or warmed even before one pours water into it. So we should preheat the pot in which we are going to make tea. So that is the third point. And the fourth rule is that tea should be strong enough. It should be really very strong. And I know that there are so many tea lovers or chai lovers out there who loves very strong tea. Here the author suggests that 1 cup of strong tea is better than 20 cups of weaker ones. So the tea should always be taken strong. So that is the fourth rule, the tea should be strong enough. The fifth rule is that tea should be directly added to the pot. One should avoid using strainers or any other muslin cloth or any other devices to imprison the tea. The author also tells that there would be no harm even if we consume a few tea leaves. So the fifth point that the author has to suggest is that tea should be directly added to the pot. It should not be strained with any filters or anything of that sort. So children, we have seen the 5 points. I would like to repeat the 5 points in making a very good cup of tea. The first rule is that one should use Indian or Ceylonese tea. The second rule is that tea should be made in very small quantities. For example, we should make it in a very small teapot. The third rule is that one should preheat, or we should heat the pot even before we pour water into it. And the fourth rule is that tea should be very strong enough to consume. And the fifth point is that tea should be directly added to the pot and it should not be strained. Children, we have learned these 5 golden rules in preparing tea. So we shall see the next 6 rules in the next video. So here are the few glossaries to be noted. Please note it down in your classworks. Please do read the text when you learn this lesson. Please read the text, and if you have any doubts, you can comment and you can ask for clarifications. Thank you.